University of Nairobi lecturer researcher on matters of politics, governance, and he's been, on this space for quite a while. We hosted him last year when we were talking about, the Russia hospital and what happened that day in the 60s. Now he's back. We're talking about the future of this country. So we've invited him to talk about the past. Now we're inviting him to talk about the future.
Right.
Prof, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Might you happen to know how they calculate the street value of bangi?
I've never smoked and I've never bought, but that's an interesting question. How do the police calculate the value?
Yeah.
It means either they smoke or they have bought it, or there is something really that is interesting there.
Okay.
Whoever really comes with the price of something must have good knowledge of it.
Yeah.
Right?
They'll
You
tell
don't get a price tag on something
that you
if you
know.
don't know about it. Right?
Police will tell you they actually have, intelligence informers.
Okay, yeah, maybe that's one.
So they have informers, and the various informers will tell them this is what happens. That's how they're able to net such kind of a huge haul of 50 kilograms of bangi.
Wow. Just
Came
2
from
weeks
a
ago,
tip-off.
Eric. Intelligence? Miss me with that.
Yeah, but we should not also lose sight of the fact that many countries today are thinking about cannabis from a medicinal point of view.
Yeah, sure.
And even countries like South Africa are actually adding it to medical categories, but processed for purposes of medicine.
Yeah.
And they do so simply because they have recognized its value.
Yeah.
So the more people start thinking out of the box and start asking, what is it that can be done to use it in a manner that satisfies medical conditions, the better. We should not be criminalizing everything because the colonial authorities began by criminalizing it.
Yeah.
True.
If other countries are making medicine out of it and helping people out of it, especially people suffering from pain, it's the high time we started thinking about its value from a medical point of view, give our universities the opportunity to investigate further what is it that can be done to make it viable for people suffering from pain, or use it in the same manner other countries are using it now.
Indeed. And even going to beyond that, all the other byproducts of cannabis, like Professor Wajakoya goes ahead showing, this, what I'm wearing, is made from hemp.
Yeah,
This
head
from-
to toe.
Head to toe.
Yeah.
From cannabis. And maybe if we actually thought outside the box like that, we may be able to take ourselves to beyond Singapore.
Correct.
Smooth. Smooth.
Maybe these are the things that Prof and his colleagues were looking at and saying, this is how we can get our country going beyond where we are currently. That's why we're inviting you, Prof. But before we get into the conversation, Felaris is going to give you the day's quote.
Karibu sana, Prof. Today's quote is courtesy of Andre Gide, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name properly. He was a French novelist, essayist, and a Nobel Prize.
Do you think you would have been able to say Waboi? No.
No,
Achana nayo.
exactly. Mariam, I appreciate that. Andre Gide. So the quote reads, "You cannot discover new oceans unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore." How does that speak to you?
You cannot discover?
You cannot discover new oceans unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore.
It means you must be determined to try. Determination is very important. You should not be afraid of something without putting an effort into it. Meaning that actually the more effort you put into something, then better you become. Right? So you see far on basis of how you walk and what determination you put. But if you're afraid of putting some effort on something, you'll never get what you have. Everything begins with your courage and your foresight and determination to do the right thing and do it faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of thinking that we had in 2008 when we launched Vision 2030?
I think that's the kind of vision we had before the launch of Vision 2030. It's the kind of vision that we had in 2003 when Kenya was itself the most optimistic country in the world. Gallup polls and everyone else in the world said Kenyans really have got hope for the future, right? And from there onwards, Kenyan citizens would arrest the policemen who were corrupt on the road and march them to a police station. We had instances of where people were holding members of their own cooperative societies, the corrupt officials were being held to account, and people calling them out and marching them to police stations, right? That's the kind of foundation that Vision 2030 found in place, that Kenyans were determined to shape the country better and to make it very different, right? And if you do recall, even the elections of 2002, because of this, people determined actually to go across the ocean. We're going back to the quote. People are now determined to see the shores farther. And did things that in Africa were difficult to do. Getting a party that had ruled the country for decades, getting it out of power, voting in a new president with a very huge majority, right? And there all of a sudden we started thinking governance, right?
Yes.
Economic recovery, right? And for the first time, I think for 2 years, Kenya's budget did not have development partner support, right? 95% of our budget, or 96% of Kenya's budget, was resourced by our own funds as citizens from taxpayers, right? Those are the moments, very hilarious moments, very good moments. So when Vision 2030 was coming in place through the foundation laid by economic recovery strategy, where we said governance must be right, and policies must be right, and cabinet ministers running ministries must be let to do their jobs right, right? There are even jokes that people tell about how pressure would be put on President Kibaki to sack, let's say, an ambassador. And the President Kibaki would ask a question, is that person a Kenyan? You say yes. Is he going to work from morning to evening? Yes. Then you'll keep quiet and you'll not have anything else to do. So you don't go back biting other people and requesting that they be sacked because they're not politically correct. That didn't matter at that particular time. What mattered is that you are Kenyan and you are working, right? The second thing we need to recognize at that particular time is that cabinet ministers were actually competing for impact. You compete among yourselves, not really doing silos work, but you compete for impact. And there is every cabinet minister and everything to show. I remember dairy sector was the first to recover within a period of less than 6 months because of putting the right policies in place. So it can be done. That's the story.
It's doable.
It's
Then
doable.
what happened, Prof? Is it that, rats infested our sheep, the winds failed, the sails got torn?
Yeah, but that's exactly
Because
rats.
we found ourselves back here.
Yes, rats infested, got into the ship and did everything. Well, what really has happened, and let me be honest here, we are a country that has shown the world that we have potential for great things almost every other time. And let me digress and say that in the 70s, everybody studying development studies today, there is something we call the Kenyan debate. If you are doing a master's degree in development studies or anything, sociology of development anywhere in the world, and you are studying Africa, there is something called the Kenya debate. How could Kenya really transform like this and become so developed in the 70s and leave other countries behind? That's the question of the Kenyan debate. And it became a debate for about 10 years, right? But things went wrong. What went wrong exactly? Because the Kenyan debate was actually at the time when Kenya was being compared with Southeastern Asian countries. Kenya is even ahead of some at that particular time. And that's why that question was important. And people came with various things in that debate. Some arguing that, it's not Kenyan capital, it's multinationals. It's not Kenyan capital, it's the colonial settlers. It's not Kenyan capital, it's the foundation laid by the colonial state. But they forgot that actually it was indigenous Kenyan capital from 1922 that was growing Kenya and making Kenya very different from any other African country. And they forgot that actually the policies that Kenya had were long-term policies. And that's exactly what went wrong. After Vision 20 that was launched, we did not focus on continuity. We do not start looking at the vision from a long-term point of view. We started to say Latif comes to power and what he has in mind is re-election and therefore goes for short-term policies, right? That's the first thing. The second thing that has happened in this country is that we have under time that every election period, our growth declines to very low levels, only to recover again after the election. So we have a period of close to a year that we can say we consistently waste from around 1997, consistently wasting a year and several months without growth because of the conflicts of our elections. And as a result of that, actually we can say our growth takes place for a period of only 3 years.
Just 3 years.
And now, because we have even started, from a few years ago, we start our campaigns fairly early, meaning we are draining the economy. We are putting our efforts and energies into things and getting people out of economic attention to other things. And as a result, we do not have steady growth. The other thing we need to bear in mind is that successive governments have not been very consistent in implementing Vision 2030. There is therefore what we call policy inconsistency. You introduce a new thing even before what you are implementing is not mature enough. Now, we are lucky as a country because devolution has sorted us out and in some counties sorted a number of local development challenges in a very big way. But even devolution itself is not consistently being implemented. If you look at how the first generation of county governments, 2013 to 2017, the kind of work they did in many counties actually is uncomparable to what had happened for years since independence. But now we have seen even governors themselves and the counties themselves, county government themselves, not paying attention to devolution the way they should. And also national government ministries are cannibalizing devolution in many ways. When you don't disburse funds in good time, or when we don't take control, or we don't delegate all the functions and the monies required for counties to do their work at the local level, we are punishing service delivery. And finally, let me say this. We have not been involving citizens in thinking about the future. Since how many times have you ever been consulted by your local MCA? After all, you don't know your local MCA. Who is your MP, by the way?
I don't want to say it out loud, but I know him.
Just tell me, who is your MP?
I know my MP.
Who is it?
By name.
By name.
I don't want to say it out loud.
By name.
Latif, what is our MP?
He knows as well.
No, the point I'm raising
I will
that
say
is...
it for you. All right? Her local MP is Beatrice Elaji.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's guesswork anyway.
It's not guesswork. It's not.
We've discussed it before.
We have.
She even knows her local MCA.
Yeah.
Anyway, the reason why I'm bringing it up is simply because we don't have structured processes of people owning development and defending it, right? Rarely do we have national conversations on the kind of development we want. And therefore, every new administration comes and does away with whatever we had before. Uhuru came with the Big Four. He did not tell us how much they are synced to Vision 2030. We always come with programs and then tweak them to include them in the medium-term plans to start reflecting an idea of Vision 2030.
Wait, Prof. You know, yesterday here we had the chair of the Vision 2030 board.
Yes.
And he was saying, actually, the Uhuru Big Four, the current bottom-up, are very much in sync
with
the medium-term plan of the Vision 2030. Are you saying that one comes after the other? It's not the vision that informs the blueprint. It's the other way around.
I'm very confident that Vision 2030 is in place, but when any new administration comes in place, its manifesto everything must wait until the new administration comes into place to start thinking about how do we put this manifesto into medium-term plan. Yes, that's what happens.
Yeah.
And it should be the other way around.
It should be the other way around.
Yeah.
That because we have agreed on Vision 2030, your manifesto should say, we agree that these are the things to be done in Vision 2030. That's the destination we want to reach. My party will take you there first and by doing MBCD, right? But you'll see that no single manifesto, read them, are really synced to Vision 2030 policy priorities. You struggle very much to say that actually they are anchored in Vision 2030. And that's what we are saying even when we are thinking about this roadmap to the first world. Let Kenyans agree on their destination. Let political parties compete on how fast and how best to take us to that destination.
Okay.
That's what we have been lacking, Latif. And therefore, when I look at bottom-up strategy, when I look at Uhuru's Big Four, they are about moving forward and implementing development projects, but to what destination that Kenyans have agreed to. We need to have national conversations so that you will tell me, actually, me, in 40 years' time, this is where I want to be and this is where I think my family will be. You say the same and everybody says the same. Therefore, we agree that that's the destination we want to reach. It's a destination of the world-class education that we want to have, and therefore, let's the political parties compete in how to take us to give us the world-class education.
Okay.
Let us compete by saying we want farmers to have good income in their pocket
Okay.
on everything they grow. Then let's compete by saying this is what I'll do to ensure that farmers get value for their money.
Okay. When we come back, we have to take a short break. But when we come back, I want to first understand, what is a first world country? What are the markers of a first world country?
I will define it for you.
And how far are we from that before we move to 2060? Let's see if it's achievable. Hashtag is Fixing the Nation NTV. We'll be right back.
Good morning, nation. Good morning, Kenya. I'm Caxton Shako. I'm a local tour guide in Taita Hills. Welcome to Taita Hills, the rooftop of Kenyan Coast. Today I'm here, we're fixing the nation, one walk, one hike, one adventure at a time. This is Voi, in the farthest side between the two hills. That's Voi town. That's the whole of Voi area. That's Sagala Hill to the left. Then straight ahead, not so visible today, that is Kafigao, Mount Kafigao. That is Motatu town. Go to the east, then to the other side, go to Taveta, and now you come up to Undanyi. And this is the view that you get when you're standing on one of the most beautiful viewpoints of Taita Hills, Mochora Rock. See you here when you come.
Indeed, Tuanane Taveta, Taita Taveta. Thank you so much, Caxton. That's a wonderful Was Up Nation video, and it is a stunning one as well. You're doing a good job as a fixer, also an amazing job as a tour guide. Just seeing Kenya from above, Vitu is very nice, very nice. Send us your Was Up Nation video to 0769 590 762, 0769 590 762. You'll see the number at the bottom of your screen right now. Tuambie uko wapi? How are you fixing the nation? What's working? What's not working? What's beautiful? What's ugly? Just involve us, basically. And we'll be more than happy to share in the next hour. Ama kesho.
What's working? Let me tell you something about Caxton and his fellow tour guides there.
Yeah.
He told me one of the things that they do is when visitors come, local, international, they organize an entire day of excursions.
Nice.
So you can go to such places, visit, see various places, or they can organize a hike for you, or they can organize a bike tour for a whole day. So they bring in the local boda guys.
Yeah.
So they basically give business to the local boda guys. You'll be beboard on a boda, one per person, going to various places.
Nice.
He says that way we are ensuring that also our boda guys are also getting biashara. Then you can also go to a school, and he was telling me there's a group that had come there, gone to a local school, donated to an entire school, said we are going to take a certain number of students, support them, sponsor them, uniforms, shoes and such. So it's like, we're not just doing this, we're also doing this to empower our community for, social activities in our community.
Well in, Caxton, you're a proper fixer.
Proper
I
fixer.
love that.
Yes.
That's amazing. Also, I've done walking tours, tour kwa gari, kwa baiskeli, boda boda.
Boda tour.
And now it's on the list. Thank you so much. That's an amazing What's Up Nation. We're in conversation with Prof. Karuti Kanyinga, and we're talking about Vision 2030, now Vision 2060. We're expanding, we're moving forward. And just before the break, I wanted to ask Prof what a first world country is. And there are those definitions that, yes, we'll find in the dictionary, and you'll give us some of those markers of a first world country. But I also want to know if we are defining a first world country for ourselves, or we are copy-pasting from others. Because there are some first world countries that I would not want to emulate.
To be honest, we are not copy-pasting from anyone. We are just thinking about a first world that can resonate with Kenyans. And that first world is where there is quality life for everyone, where you are not worried about food security, where you are not worried about access to health, where you are not worried about access to world-class health facilities and health care, where you are not worried about your children having world-class education. Because in future, your children will be competing globally with other children. And therefore, you cannot give them mediocre education and think that they will globally compete. No. It's a first world where we give our children world-class education so that they can compete with other children from other nations competitively. We are thinking about also high quality of life so that your life expectancy is not 64 years as it is today. It is life expectancy of living beyond even 80 years. On average today, our life expectancy is 64 years. And in some counties, actually, it's as low as 54 years in this country, right? So we are not doing very well even in terms of life expectancy. And what contributes to life expectancy is the well-being of citizens. Access to health care, access to being food secure, and having good education so that you have got a good awareness of how to tap your own potential. The first world we are also thinking about is where people are not poor, right? By the way, today we have got 46% in rural areas living below the poverty line, close to 40% in urban areas. So in total, we are talking about close to 25 million people in the country being poor, right? That's not something we should be happy about. That's something that every citizen should be scared about.
Right.
And there are many others. If we got pandemic again of any kind, the numbers will increase. So I think we should really start saying this is a conversation we should be having, at least a conversation to lift up these 25 million people from poverty. And that's a discussion that all leaders, all people should be having, because we should not be proud that there are some people living without knowing where they're going to get their meal the next day. Children do not know when they will ever go to school. And there are even some places in this country where children are not guaranteed their 50th birthday because they're poor. Is that the country we would like to be living?
No,
absolutely.
It's not. And therefore, we would like, it's not about building roads, it's not about building, having infrastructure that is like skyscraper that we should be calling first world. Our idea of first world, and I'm afraid to say the Singapore itself is a metaphor. It's a shorthand for high quality of life, high incomes for everyone, being food secure, having world-class education and health services, and above all, having integrity.
Thanks, Prof.
And values, moral values, integrity, and honesty, where you do the right things even when no one is watching you. If we switch off lights now, I don't know what I will lose or not. Right?
Well,
But
I've been looking at your phone and just like,
but
I need a
that's
replacement.
actually what we call integrity, where
Yes.
citizens do the right things with honesty, even under the cover of darkness. Because you know very well that integrity is the cornerstone of a good human being,
Right.
and therefore a good society. Today, we are talking about decayed values. People still even in church, right?
Yeah.
People still harambe money. You contribute for poor children and that money disappears. We are talking about having lost the foundation of Kenya society itself. We are talking about a first world where public service works, where public servants are committed to serving citizens but not serving their interests. We are talking about a public service that recognizes that you are in office as a duty to serve citizens and serve them better and effectively. That's the idea of first world, where public servants get up to go to office, not because they know they have a salary, but because I'm committed to serve. But you cannot do so also if you are not being paid well.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that's the idea, that we are not copy-pasting from anyone. We are saying we want a public service that used to work like in the 70s,
Yeah.
when public servants were so committed to the rule of law, to procedures, and doing things right. We are talking about order in the society. Get out of this building and tell me the kind of chaos that you'll find in the streets, right?
It's an adventure, Prof.
It's an adventure.
Yeah.
So we are talking about a a society governed by not only the rule of law, but where people respect orders and people are committed to serving others and serving the society in a manner that is respectable,
Yes.
in a manner where there is dignity for everyone, and in a manner that no single citizen will feel left behind by anything.
I just want to ask a
That is
simple
not
question.
copy-pasting.
Not at all. And I love the definition of what a first world country is and what we aspire to be. My question is, the other players, are they aware that this is what we envision as a first world society, or are they thinking skyscrapers and flying cars? Kenyans as well, are they aware that this is what a first world country is and that's what we're aspiring to, or are we also thinking skyscrapers and flying cars?
I believe this is where we are saying we need to have a national conversation about the future of the country, and a national conversation that is not tied to my life in this world. We want to have a national conversation for the present generation and the generations to come. It's a conversation that actually will come and say, yes, we are building infrastructure, but this is how this infrastructure is going to help in improving quality of life, right? We are going to do roads, but these roads that we are doing is to serve the destination we are traveling together as a country, and define it properly what it will do. Because we are not saying roads are bad, but the roads must be a means to that destination of high quality life, high incomes, world-class education. Because if we do roads and we grow the economy, then we shall be having sufficient revenue to support that world-class destination of a society we want.
Is the president aware that this is our vision of a first world country?
Ask Latif, but I think we have had several
Why ask
conversations. Because he's looking at me.
I want to see that. I want to hear the answer.
Let me be honest. We have had discussions with him, and I would say 100% that this is what he has bought into. And he has said a couple of times when we were presenting this report to him, this is not a report for William Ruto. It's a report for Kenya, and we are doing this for present generation and the generations yet to come. The first world may be achieved in our lifetimes, but we need to prepare Kenyans to walk that journey. But we don't want to do. He recognizes the need not to do the mistakes that we have done in the past. He recognizes also himself that there are mistakes in his own development priorities that have not helped reach that particular destination we are reaching. And to be honest, that's what the conversation should be about. How do we move to that destination? How do we stop, how do we prevent stop-go-stop policy implementation that we have had? It's forced to start almost every other time. You do something very good, someone else comes and says, let's reverse it. We cannot live as a country that everyone looked upon to lead is now a country that is shaken. But because not many people are borrowing from us anymore, right? They have borrowed enough and taken off, right?
Yeah.
Prof, every time.
The example I give often is the example of performance contracts that we started during Kebaki's government in 2004-5. Many African countries picked up. Some are doing very well, others are not. Others are like that. But Kenya did very well, but I don't think we are doing as we should be doing, as we did at those particular times. Yeah.
We are doing terribly. We are doing terribly. And I think Kenya is stuck at nostalgia and also stuck in this dream state, where we keep dreaming and, we use the flowery language of Singapore. It's called destination addiction or something like that.
Destination
We have
addiction,
that, exactly.
I love that.
we are very addicted to the destination, but we're not prepared to do the work that we are supposed to do. And every time, we have these conversations, the thing that I remain stuck on is, who does it benefit when we remain stuck? Who does it benefit when 25 million Kenyans are not economically empowered? Who does it benefit when these Kenyans are continuously in a cycle of asking for, and therefore they will always be sold for the same dream that will give you hospitals, will give you education, will give you roads? Who does it benefit? Because therein, once we solve this, then maybe we'll be able to unstuck ourselves and move to the next part.
I think it's the middle class, you and I, are the ones who benefit from this kind of stop-go, paradox that marks Kenyans. We because we are in a Singapore of our own, right? But and the politicians as well. Because you can pay for your medical care, you can pay for world-class education for your children, you can have 3 meals a day. It's the middle class.
That's benefiting.
Prof, I respectfully disagree.
Yes, yeah.
It is not the middle class. It is.
I've said middle class and politicians.
Okay,
right? But
I would
middle
say
class and
it's
political elites.
Political elites and anyone. I would say anyone wealthy, because
Anyone
the
wealthy.
stop-start
Yeah.
ensures you have quality access to good quality labor at cheap prices. One. Who benefits from that the most, if not owners of capital? So it's not the middle class. The middle class are part of the cog of the wheel. Yeah. And for sure, there are some benefits that accrue to them, but not to the extent that owners of capital
I hear you,
benefiting.
but I'll not ask you how much you pay your house help.
Fair. That's fair.
No, anyway, on a more serious note, political elites are to blame for this, and to a large extent the middle class also, because it is very rare we discuss the issue of these 25 million Kenyans who are food poor, who are living below the poverty line, whose children sometimes are never guaranteed 50th birthday, right? It's a conversation we rarely have. How do we lift these millions of people up so that they're not food poor and so that they be like us?
True.
Why should we be happy every year when we see people, we don't have good strategies of saying, let's be food secure? We have policies that we make and sometimes reverse, and there are policies meant to improve on food security. Or we have policies to improve food security, and then they are captured by cartels who would like to sell fertilizer inputs, and yet that fertilizer would have increased the productivity for these ordinary people. Why is it that we don't have a national conversation on poverty in this country?
I don't think we're prepared for it, Prof, which leads me to my next question, which is, what are the political and governance changes that need to happen to this country for us to realistically inch closer to this dream? Because the institutions that we have right now are so third world, they will never get us to first world. It's a pipe dream, and we need to wake up from it. They cannot get us to that destination.
You are very right, because you are right. Actually, one of the issues we have addressed in our guideline report is to say we need to rethink our institutions again, because they are not fit for purpose. Our institutions have weakened over time, and they are not fit for this particular destination. And that's the first governance issue we must start reflecting on. How do our institutions perform? How many of our institutions really can we say are fit for this particular dream of lifting many people out of poverty and moving people to high quality of life? Right?
You know, it's not the institutions.
Yes.
Institutions come secondary. I think the first thing, and you've mentioned it there in our values, in our fabric, the first thing is we must define ourselves as human beings, as Kenyans. What are we really? Who are we? We are so individualistic in our fabric. And that's why when I'm comfortable because I have a salary, I can pay private insurance, I can pay private education, I can pay private security, I can pay private garbage collection. Because I can do all those things, I will complain, but I'm okay paying.
Yeah, okay.
All right? I'm not really ready to not do that because that elevates me beyond a certain level.
Yeah.
And maybe we just need to go back and ask ourselves, that first question in our conversation is, who are we?
Who are we?
Who are we as Kenyans? And I think I've seen Martin Moy says, I think we all want change, but no one wants to change.
Yeah.
We all want
Hence the
change
finger
and no one
pointing.
wants to change.
Yes. Hence the finger pointing. How do we change this mindset and get everyone to contribute to the goal? If we created institutions, those institutions that are third word, we created them. Those institutions, an institution on paper is fine.
Yeah.
It's the people in those institutions. We keep changing them. But if they're not moving, that tells you that we are getting from the same
Pool of people.
Who are gone. Maybe what we need is that first thing is,
Change ourselves.
are we actually comfortable with the kind of human beings we have become? Because if we are not comfortable, then we can change. If we are comfortable with the kind of human beings we have become, then we have to accept that we are not going anywhere.
Let's begin from first a point that we are so comfortable and we have got third world institutions. And that's why I think it's very important to bring some of these issues in public platforms for debate. That's why we need this particular conversation. Why is it that we accept mediocrity and live with it when we know we can do better? Why is it that we drop the bar in order to jump it?
Right.
We lower the bar every time. We lower the bar in order to be able to
jump it.
jump it.
Yeah.
When it's so high, we bring it down, right? Look at our chapter 6, integrity and leadership. MPs brought the bar down so that they can jump it. Is that what we really should be doing as a country?
No.
Nope.
Let's ask ourselves, why is it that we don't want to have to jump, to put the bar high and jump it, right? These are conversations we need as a country, and ask the question, how do we expect the future generations to find Kenya? What kind of Kenya do we want to guarantee them? That Kenya we want to guarantee to our children and future generation is a Kenya that we can build together by having a national conversation of that future. Because the past, all our policies and programs were not people-owned as such. Even Katiba itself, Katiba 2010, was not, it was pushed under through the droughts of some powerful individuals, you know? Right? So we need to start having that conversation so that people can own that destination we are talking about. And once we reach that destination, and then start defining what are its pillars, then better. And I am sure people say, hey, let's have integrity as number one pillar.
Okay.
We have dropped our morals, we have dropped our honesty, we are not truthful to our society and to our values. Let's be honest and let's have a conversation on how to build that future so that we can own this country, all of us, and do a better thing for our future.
next
The
generation.
next
And all the
generation.
future generations.
And that's why I think I go back to the question of poverty. When people are not conscious, when people are not worried about 23 million people in this country not having a meal every day and living below poverty line, and some children not able to reach the 50th birthday, and then you are talking and saying, maybe
Okay.
development shouldn't be discussed, there is a problem.
It's a big problem.
Yes, we need to think through some of these difficult issues.
We have to wrap up, but I wanted to end with a question that came from an article in today's Business Daily on page 11, and an article by Enoch Monari, who is a CPA. He says the article is The High Price of a First World Kenya. And at the end, he says the test for the national conversation is narrow. Does it produce numbers? This is page 11 of the Business Daily, sorry. Does it produce numbers that Kenyans can hold governments to? An investment rate, a savings target, a manufacturing share of GDP, a debt service ceiling, a date. Get the numbers into the charter and the ambition becomes a plan. Leave them out and we will be reading a fourth grand vision in another 20 years, asking once more why the last one did not hold. He's a CPA, so obviously he's a numbers guy. And
He knows to
we're
see
at
numbers.
and I know we're
And
getting...
he's absolutely right, because look at, for instance, manufacturing, which used to provide jobs, productive jobs to many Kenyans. It's shrinking in terms of share to GDP.
Yes.
We had said in Vision 20 that manufacturing will be above, I think 15,
30.
will be about
The vision
above
was-
15%. It's now around 7.1 or 7.2%.
7.3,
So he's right that we
yes.
need to put targets so that we can become ambitious to those targets. But we have targets also in Vision 2030. But how well did we track them?
Yeah.
How well did we commit ourselves to it? Commitment, going back to what she raised about political issues that we need to address. Political commitment to the future of this country. Political commitment to lifting millions of people out of poverty.
Yep.
Political commitment to providing productive jobs. And political commitment to ensuring that future generations have a better country to live in.
Yeah. And ownership. Charles Ndongo says, agreed on the bar issue. The media has the responsibility of ensuring that the bar stays as high as possible. Don't accept mediocre people. Make mediocre statements on your platforms. Nisawa, Charles Ndongo, I completely agree with you. Let's also not allow mediocre people in our midst.
Yeah.
In our communities. Let's not elect a mediocre person to be a chair of a cattle dip committee or a church fundraising committee
You see,
or the
Kenyans
guest of
are
honor.
very interesting. They elect mediocrity at all levels and then complain that they are suffering because of service delivery.
And then the mediocre people are getting platforms.
Yes, right?
Nairobi says, we have plans of becoming a first world, but do we have the mindset of a first world? It continues, good people, don't let yesterday's disappointments steal today's possibilities. Keep believing, keep pushing, and keep moving forward. Steve Okech, let's start by having the right leaders in power. Now, legacy politicians uniting again, which is just an act of self-preservation. None of them seem to have a vision of where they intend to lead us. Martin Moy, I think I read that one. Still, Mike, the one says, absolutely right, Felaris. We are being put on fantasy world by politicians just to clap for them. They are smiling all the way to the bank with our hard-earned taxes. In 4 months, we have a 416 billion shilling loan. How so? And I want to just end with the late Raz Nawara, who was a thinker and a contributor on the Daily Nation every week. She tweeted in 2023, November 2023. She said, I said it before, I'm saying it again. One day, someone will look at Kenya and say, here lie the ruins of a country destroyed by greed.
Exactly. Here lies the ruins of a country destroyed by greed. We go back to integrity. As a fabric, as a pillar for this society. Let's have a national conversation in this country about the future we want.
Indeed.
And let political parties, political leaders say that that's the destination we want to go. This is how I'll take you there.
Yeah.
Let them be answerable to us and our vision.
Yes.
Not us buying into their vision.
Into their vision.
You've said it very well. Professor Karuti Kanyinga, professor at the University of Nairobi, a researcher on matters of politics and governance, and a member of the task force that was put together by Professor Peter Nyang'nyong'o to look at reviewing the Vision 2030 and thinking, what do we need to think about as we have a conversation on the Vision 2060 or whatever we want to call it. In the next hour, we talk about healthcare. The Principal Secretary for Public Health and Professional Standards, Mary Maloney, will be joining us. It's coming up to 8 a.m. Good morning.